We're heading over one of the most scenic and scary roads in America to head to a Colorado gem you need to see. I think Colorado has the most interesting, quaint mountain towns of anywhere in the U.S. These towns all got their start in the mining boom of the 1800s. They've all been forced to reinvent themselves so their residents can make a living, but many of them have been able to retain their pleasant, old-fashioned charm. I've been doing a lot of soul searching. Can I really say what I'm thinking? I looked up what others thought was the best quaint town in America. This town was on some of the lists. I had been to most of the towns they mentioned, and I still think, yes, I'm gonna say it, Silverton, Colorado outshines them all. We're hungry, so we headed to one of our favorite Silverton restaurants. It was featured in the Food Network show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. They've consistently been good when we've been here. They're definitely a shout-out restaurant in our book. In addition to being a quaint little town, Silverton is a mecca for off-road trails. Since we were planning on doing some of these later, we stopped in the visitor center to see what we could find out from the locals. Silverton is in a remote part of the San Juans, a range of the Rocky Mountains. It takes some effort to get here, but this area of Colorado stands out in a place known for its mountain beauty. The entire town is a federally designated National Historic Landmark District. Unlike many early mining camps of Red Mountain, which were designed to provide temporary housing for fortune seekers, Silverton was built to last. By 1882, the town had 400 buildings, 2 banks, a $5,000 church, and several hotels. The population in its heyday was around 2,000. Today, the year-round population runs about 700. Coming here today is like stepping back into the Old West. That may be why a plethora of movies were filmed here. The beauty of the surrounding 13,000-foot mountains also served as a backdrop for several films. Silverton was smart and started marketing itself as a tourist destination as early as 1913. This ensured its survival when the mining dried up. Today, there's no shortage of fine places to eat, unique places to shop, and interesting places to stay. It may seem like a year-round holiday to live in such a beautiful place, but like the miners and their families who first settled here, you need to be tough as nails to live here. They may have an abundance of sunshine, but in the winter the town sees an average of 180 inches of snow per year, and the surrounding mountains receive 230 inches. You can translate that into road closures. Yes, Silverton gets snowed in. If you're wanting to go to a larger grocery store with a few more choices, it's a very long drive, and it's not an easy one at that. Something that sets Silverton apart from other quaint mountain towns are the trains that come in from Durango. There are several options leaving from Durango. We've taken this ride and it is well worth it. If you're in town, pay attention to when the train comes in. The town will be extra busy when the passengers are here. We pulled into the Alum Nossaban Memorial Archive building. It's the research center for the San Juan Historical Society. Next door is the Mining Heritage Center and the 1902 jail. What we're about to see really impressed me. It's a side of Silverton I hadn't seen before. The dedication to preserving the past. It's impressive. The museum is comprised of 2 buildings with 3 levels, each with 14,000 square feet of displays. You start at the jail. This building was built in 1902 and housed inmates until the 1920s. In the 30s, records show this building was used as a poorhouse for elderly miners. The mining exhibits are in the basement. A tunnel leads you to the adjacent building. What a great way to see these exhibits. Kind of gives you a cool, literally, slightly claustrophobic feeling as you explore. An impressive collection of minerals found in the area is on display. It's a result of 40 years of work. Our next adventure is visiting the Christ of the Mine Shrine. From Highway 550, go east on 15th Street for about a half a mile. Our friends Steve and Diana are joining us. From the unmarked parking area, it's a short hike to see the 12-ton, 16-foot statue of Jesus Christ on the foothills of the Anvil Mountain. It's a stark reminder of the volatile economy and the dangerous work of the miners that the statue is said to protect. Shortly after finishing the community project, the Sunnyside mine was reopened, providing new employment opportunities. When the mines flooded in 1978, the statue was credited for saving the lives of the miners. The mines are closed now, but this beautiful statue is a reminder of the resiliency of the people of Silverton. You can also hike to the shrine by walking northwest on 10th Street until it ends at Keystone Street. From there, you can follow a path to the shrine. We continued driving this road to soak in the magnificent views overlooking Silverton. It's the only incorporated town in San Juan County. That's how remote this gorgeous place is. It's also the only county in the United States that doesn't have a lick of agriculture due to its elevation. Not even 1 acre of a cash crop. This trip was the first time that the Hubs and I visited the Heritage Museum and the cemetery. If I had known how extraordinary these places were, I would have done it a long time ago. The Hillside Cemetery lies a little north of Silverton on the lower slope of Boulder Mountain. The sprawling plots are unlike most cemeteries you'll visit. The graves are not laid out in organized rows, but rather spread amongst the natural beauty of aspens, spruce, and pine trees. We spread out and started to explore. At 9,300 feet, the harsh environment is not only reflected in the appearance of the cemetery, but the grave markers that explain the hard realities of living here. The tombstones reveal lost battles with pneumonia, typhoid fever, scarlet fever, and diphtheria. Silverton lost 246 souls during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918. That's 10% of the town's population, making it the highest mortality rate per capita in the United States. You'll find a large number of babies and young children giving testament to the difficulty of childbirth and disease, as well as the dangers of mining. My friend Steve had 2 great finds. Otto Mears, pathfinder of the San Juans, was buried here. His toll roads and railroads are the foundation of our modern highway system in these parts. Once the pathways were built, the movement of ore became more efficient and less taxing. Steve also found a section he called soiled doves, a euphemism for prostitutes. We suspect that the headstones were placed randomly, perhaps not knowing where their bodies actually lay. Many markers were made of wood back then and would have rotted away over time. Cemeteries inspire me to ask questions. Steve told me that he once attended a talk by a well-known author, Louis L'Amour, where he discussed how he goes to a cemetery to find inspiration for his characters in his books. Years ago, my daughter and I took a great tour of the old 100 Gold Mine. It takes you a third of a mile into the mountain to see how the mining operations once worked. It's a tour we'd recommend. But what I haven't seen is the Mayflower Mill. It was declared a National Historic Landmark in 2000. The mill closed its doors in 1991 and was donated to the San Juan County Historical Society. They're open for a self-guided tour in the summers, giving folks a look at how metals were extracted from the ore the mines collected. home, we hit another one of our favorite places to eat. The atmosphere is just as great as the food. Another shout-out location. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to help the channel grow.
What do you call a sad strawberry? A blueberry.